The Blue Swan, home of friends, lovers, and enemies alike, buzzed with revelry on a warm Hastings Street night. Semetria Parker, an ingenue singer, swung open the door before Rufus, her boyfriend, could open it for her. Inside, the Swan was tight but stylish with a long bar. Photos around the room displayed Paradise Valley royalty, entertainers and athletes who gathered there for business and friendship. Black and white patrons in fine clothes packed the tables. A lone autographed photo of the Detroit Stars baseball team hung on one of the walls. In the center of the merriment stood the holy trinity of the Swan: Jimmie, Mack, and Louie. Jimmie Crutchfield, owner and Negro Leagues All-Star, held court with Mac Byrd, friend and owner of the Gotham, one of the finest black hotels in America. Louie, the dapper Italian manager of the Swan and Jimmie's right hand, surveyed the room. Up front, Nina Towns, a fading diva and Mac's mistress, swayed with the house band. Nina threw Mac a wink. Mac failed to notice. At one table, Sonny Wilson, former honorary mayor of Paradise Valley, showman and businessman, chatted with boxing champ Joe Louis, his business partner. At the next table, Bobby Leroy, black manager of the Peacock Inn, a rival Detroit club, sat with Oklahoma Johnson, a white business associate. Bobby eyed Gabriella, Louie's young girlfriend, as she sauntered past. At another table, Goose Burns, retired Detroit Stars player, sat with his wife, Nellie. Goose knocked back several drinks. An excited Semetria and a watchful Rufus made it through the crowd to be seated by Ruby, a young black hostess. Semetria failed to notice the fleeting glance between Ruby and Rufus. Ruby sized up Semetria. "Welcome to the Swan." Jimmie talked with Sonny at the bar. "Nice to see the brown bomber. It's been a while," Jimmie said. "Yeah, we've been setting up some matches," Sonny said. Good. Let me know." "Listen, have you been hearing anything? Lots of joints closing up and down Hastings all of a sudden." Sonny shrugged. "Yeah, I'm asking around. I heard Mayor Cobo went up to see the governor. Something big is in the works, but nobody's talking." Across the room, Louie chatted with guests. Gabriella caught up to him. "Louie, can we leave now? Miguel said I can't keep late nights before Mass again." Louie watched Joe Louis and Sonny bid Jimmie goodbye as they exited. "Soon, babe," Louie said to Gabriella. "You know I'm working." Gabriella pouted and went to sit at a table as Mac appeared. "You keep fooling around with that girl," Mac said to Louie. "See what happens. Her brothers don't like you." Louie shrugged. "Nobody likes me, so it don't matter." "You leaving?" "Yeah," Mac said. "I'm gonna run Nita home after this set. I'll see you early tomorrow." Clive, the cook, rushed up and pulled at Mac's shoulder. "Out back," was all he said. Outside, Jimmie and Mac watched Roscoe, Mac's controller from the Gotham Hotel, hop around in pain. They heard a car turn the corner. Louie ran after the car with his gun drawn. "Bastard shot me," Roscoe said through gritted teeth. Mac handed Roscoe a handkerchief to apply to his bleeding hand. Louie returned and shook his head. "You see who did it?" Jimmie asked. "Yeah, Smitty." Roscoe said that without hesitation. Jimmie and Mac exchanged a look. "You sure about that?" "A chick told me somebody wanted to speak to me outside," Roscoe said. "When I got out here, she took off and blam! I know Smitty's car. I heard him say, 'Stay out of Hamtramck's business.'" Jimmie spun on Louie. "And where were you, manager?" Did you happen to see that woman? You didn't know the Hamtramck boys were out here?" Before Louie could reply, Jimmie stormed off. "Get Roscoe to the house doctor," he said over his shoulder. "Not the hospital. I don't want no cops coming around here." The next morning, the sun rose over Detroit. Freighters glided down the wide strait the city shared with Windsor, Ontario. The Ambassador Bridge arced in the distance. In the Eastern Market, amongst a sea of warehouses, workers loaded boxes of produce and meat into trucks for delivery. At Jefferson Assembly, workers filed into a massive plant complex with lunchboxes. In the financial district, white bankers dove in and out of tall buildings. The 47-story Penobscot building gleamed in the sunlight. On Woodward Avenue, the Hudson's department store towered over the block as the trolley clacked northward. In the lobby of the Gotham, shoeshine men set up blocks. At the desk, a concierge and receptionist greeted all black guests. Outside, a doorman held open the door with care as Mack exited to climb into a waiting car for a short drive. Back on Hastings Street, a black florist hung a basket in the doorway. Next door, a black barber swept the floor. Further down the block, a black grocer refilled bins with fresh vegetables. In his record shop, Bodon Riddle, the owner, flipped his door sign to open. He saw Mack exit a nice car across the street and strut into the Swan. Bodon turned around and walked past the sales counter and down rows of record bins to enter his recording studio. Inside the Swan, Jimmie served Mack and Louie a light breakfast at the bar. Big Mike, bartender and Ruby's father, cleaned up from the night before. Lenny Jordan, the drummer, entered. "Just coming back for the drums," Lenny said to Jimmie. "I got a gig at the Apex. I'll be back for tonight's show, though. Hope Roscoe is okay." "Yeah, man, sorry for the rough night," Jimmie said. "The band will get some hazard pay for keeping the party going." Not too many people knew what was going on. Lenny saluted Jimmie, then broke down his drum set. Jimmie continued serving Mack and Louie. "Otherwise, a pretty good night," he said. "Cash register got full." "Good night for numbers, too," Louie started. Jimmie shushed him until Lenny was out the door. "What's the word on Roscoe?" Jimmie asked Louie. Louie shrugged. "A little more than a graze. He'll keep his finger." "I asked around," Louie said. "Smitty thinks our guys are picking up Hamtramck's numbers." "Somebody's trying to start something," Jimmie said. "Okay, Louie. Let me know what else you hear out there. And watch out for the cops, too. They're busting more heads than usual." Louie rose and put on his hat with a tremor. He nodded goodbye as he exited. Mack and Jimmie exchanged a look. "Does he know the rest of it?" Mack asked. Jimmie shook his head. "Not yet." This is Hastings, the audio series, where friends, lovers, and enemies unite to fight for their way of life. Brought to you by Aux Media Broadcasts.